Call the Planning Commission of April 3rd, 2023 to order. It's 7:32 p.m. First, I'll do a roll call. Vice Chair Tessman,
Present.
Commissioner Aliff,
Present.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
and myself, Chair Maruziak, is present. And I see we also have, what's your new title?
Senior Planner.
Senior Planner Goodman, former Planning Commissioner. And we should be ready to kick this off then. So at first, I move that we approve the agenda for today as written. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. And then I move that we approve the minutes dated January 17th, 2023.
Second.
Any discussion? Comments? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. Then let's move on to item number 2, Gear Automotive Design Review Colors. Just as a background, a couple months ago, we saw a drawing and we approved the design with proviso that Gear come back and show us their final color scheme, which I believe we have a file of now. And we have Gear in the council chambers as we speak. So does staff want to talk to this, or do we ask Gear to talk to it?
I think, as you said, Chair, the design was approved, so no further action is required, but one of the conditions was that Gear would come again and show the colors that they chose, so that's what we're doing here today.
Okay. Any comments or questions from the commission?
Looks very evergreen.
What's that, Commissioner Haley?
Looks very evergreen.
Yes, Commissioner Tessman?
Yeah, Chair. I think, no, definitely, obviously, it's an adjustment from the initial version, obviously toned down a bit. From my perspective, at least, I think that comports with the general color scheme we see within the city. So no objections on my end, and I appreciate Gear making those changes.
Yeah, agreed. Commissioner Smith, any comments?
I don't think I have any. Just looking through this and looking back at my notes from our meeting last fall, I don't think I have anything else. This is definitely an improvement. Appreciate the applicant taking the time to go through the extra steps to adhere with our guidelines.
Yes, agreed. Well, I agree. I believe that the changes are great, and I appreciate the fact that Gear came here personally to discuss the design. I actually drive by and see the construction, so it looks like you're well underway. So at this point, I'll move that we approve the final color scheme as shown. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We gotta go? Or?
You're good?
All right.
Easy peasy.
Appreciate it, everybody. Thanks, everybody.
Feel free to stay. We love company.
I didn't see an agenda item. Is there a council update that, we have Councilmember Johnson here.
Yeah, I noticed that it wasn't on the agenda either, but if the commission wants to allow a slight deviation from the agenda, I'm prepared to just make a couple of short comments.
So I move we include a council update in the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Please.
Yeah, it's pretty brief. Just wanted to let the commission know that we recently appointed Lewis Washington to fill the vacancy that was left by Councilmember Lassay in his departure a couple of weeks ago, I guess almost a month ago now. Anyway, whenever that was. So Lewis Washington from the Economic Development Commission, and he's also involved in some affordable housing work in the wider Snoqualmie Valley. So we look forward to that, but we certainly appreciate all the applicants. It was very difficult to make a decision in the end, but there's only one spot. So that's the way that it went. And then the other thing that I want to make sure that the commission was aware of was that we'll be having a CIP open house on Thursday at 6 p.m. I believe it's in the council chambers, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure, right, staff? Do you remember?
Yes.
Yes.
It means CP, not CIP, though.
CP, yes.
Comprehensive
CP.
plan, yeah.
Yes. Thank you. CP, not CIP. Comprehensive plan. Yeah, so that's going to be open to the public, and that will give us an opportunity to learn a little bit more from our community for what they're looking for the future. Other than that, you folks were at the last two Community Development Committee meetings, so I think you're up to speed on what we're doing there. But I'd be happy to take any questions if any come up.
I do have one question.
Yeah.
You had your 2-day retreat, and I didn't watch the 5-hour video they just posted. Curious, any updates?
Yeah, so there was a lot that went on at the retreat. It was extremely productive. Last year's retreat, we had 4 fairly new council members. So a lot of that was presentations from staff, kind of getting the 4 of us that were new kind of up to speed on a few things. But this year, we were able to really make some headway on our on kind of our vision for where we want to go with the city, really identifying some of the major hurdles that are coming at us really quickly, and keeping in mind staff time and how much they're able to dedicate to all the different priorities that we might have, and coming up with kind of what are the main things we really need to make sure that we need to do, what's the low-hanging fruit. I think that we had a pretty broad consensus on issues related to public safety, related to affordable housing, and missing middle housing that we've talked about at the Community Development Committee meeting. Making sure that we have a sustainable, balanced budget. That was a major thing that we all committed to. So yeah, that was kind of the main thing, I think, was just identifying what were the main things we wanted to make sure that we accomplished over the next year or two as a council. Was there any more specifics that you want me to go into?
No, just
Yeah,
general
just in
comments.
general, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for Councilman Johnson? I don't see any hands up.
Don't think so.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the update.
So at this point, we move on to other business, the community character element of the comp plan. Senior Planner Goodman, are you? Yeah, good.
Yes, so this is just a kind of a preview, but I'm happy to facilitate a discussion or answer any questions that you all might have. As you're well aware, the city is due for a comprehensive plan update, and the CP we were referring to before was comprehensive plan, just to clarify. One of the elements an element, essentially a chapter of the comprehensive plan. One of the elements that is relatively unique to the city of Snoqualmie is what we call community character. This is one that I think we're going to try to get going on sooner rather than later. So essentially, there are about, I think, 15 or 16 policies related to community character. Part of the process of updating the comprehensive plan is going through those goals and policies and objectives, and identifying which ones are still relevant, which ones are not still relevant, and what are some gaps where we might want some policy where we don't necessarily have it. One other thing with the community character element is we also might consider moving some of those that we do want to keep to some other chapters such as land use, although certainly not a sure thing, and we can certainly have discussions about what we'd like to do with them. But that's kind of a preview upcoming to probably coming back to the commission in May. I also attached two pages worth of the community character policies in the packet, so I'm happy to answer any questions about those or otherwise have a discussion.
So is there a recommendation beyond, or is this just informational at this point?
Just informational at this point. And I can add, I guess, a little more context. Is what we see in the community character element has a lot to do with things like design standards, things related to the historic downtown, and then otherwise, focused on the built-in natural environment of Snoqualmie and trying to either maintain or enhance the regulations and policies that we have in place to keep Snoqualmie's unique character intact.
So I had a copy of the comp plan dated 2014. It was updated apparently 2017, and I didn't immediately see the difference, but I downloaded that and took a look at what we've got in here. And the purpose of this community character spot, I mean, it was, as you pointed out, a major section, but the purpose was to highlight Snoqualmie's character in a way that you haven't seen with other cities. Is that a fair statement?
I think it's a fair statement. There are some cities out there that have either something called a community character element, or sometimes they call it an urban design element that has to do with basically urban design and design review. The purpose here is, I think, obviously, as we all know, the Planning Commission also serves as the design review board, and we have lots of special regulations in the historic downtown to keep the kind of preserve the history and the flavor of the city. And I think the fact that Snoqualmie does have such an element in its comp plan is reflective of the fact that we do care quite a bit about that, and it's certainly a priority for the city to maintain and enhance that built environment that has a lot of historical significance to it, and I think also adds a lot to what makes Snoqualmie Snoqualmie.
Okay. Any questions from the commissioners? A community director?
Yes, Chair Maruziak, this is Emily Artiche, the Community Development Director. Like Mr. Goodman was explaining, this is a unique element. I just wanted to highlight that in your packet, there is a staff memo that describes this element. It is an optional element and fairly unique. Not all cities have a community character element. I think staff is simply just trying to highlight the fact that we've got one, that it is unique in the sense that not all cities have this, very few cities have it, and that it's not a required element, and that after we have an opportunity to review and analyze exactly what's in there, we can make a better assessment and maybe even a recommendation for how we want to treat the goals and policies associated with community character. Do they get blended in with the land use element? Are they unique and distinct enough, and there are enough of them that are still relevant to the city of Snoqualmie that it could still be contained in a community character element? Those are just some of the things that we're thinking about on the staff level.
Can you talk a little bit about the uniqueness of what you see in our current comp plan compared to what you've seen in other cities?
Well, when I say unique, maybe that's not the best word choice. I just don't see a community character in other cities' comp plans. So yes, there are goals and policies associated with design and historic design and preservation. They're typically blended into the land use element.
Okay, and at this point, we're just being informed. There's no recommendation at this point. Okay. Thank you. Anything from any other commissioner?
And I'm trying to recall back. It's been a number of years, but I'm drawing a blank as to why we approached it that way. Excuse me. Sorry. Oh. Yeah. Sorting through some emails from, see if I can figure out what the thought process, or what the thought process was at the time.
Well, just to add a little bit to that, Commissioner Smith, I sort of pulled down the 2017 comp plan and I looked at that part and it was very familiar to me, not because I had viewed it in the comp plan, but because at the Citizens Academy, it was very similar to what, at the time it was David Batty, I don't know who gives that portion anymore, gave in the Citizens Academy when he was talking about, from earliest days, and from the first tunnel that he'd still like to do an archaeological dig to go do. And it looked like that character smacked of that, of like, let me tell you about how Snoqualmie became Snoqualmie. And I think the point that is you can preserve without necessarily having an entire section in the comp plan of that, because it reads kind of like a history buff, but or like a history, of Snoqualmie type thing. That's how it struck me anyway. And I think the question is, does that really, could it be an appendix rather than a separate section in the comp plan? So I'd ask if you take a look at it, Commissioner Smith, since you've got the most longevity of all of us, and see if you can recall when the last comp plan was done as to, if you can recall any other reasons of why it was done, organized that way, rather than embedded in other sections. Okay. Good. Good. I mean, one of the things that I can say that I do, there's definitely a lot of very neat stuff that Snoqualmie does. We talked about the train museum and the logging history and things like that. But again, the question is, does it need that section there? So, okay. Anything else? From Senior Planner Goodman?
Not on this subject, no.
Okay. Community Director Arteche? Anything else
No.
from you?
No, thank you.
Okay, do you think we covered?
Yes, I do.
All right. Then at that point, we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is items of Planning Commissioner interest. So I'll poll. Let me start with Commissioner Smith. Any items of interest?
I don't think I have any at this time.
Okay. Commissioner Aliff?
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Vice Chair Tessman?
The only thing is a shout out to Snoqualmie Police Department. They responded to some Amazon thefts over this past week, and they're able to get the person pretty much immediately following these thefts. So good job, Snowpo. That's it for me.
Actually, that's good to document. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and I have nothing. Anything else from staff?
Two quick things. Just want to invite everybody and make sure everybody knows about the comprehensive plan open house this Thursday from 6 to 7:30. There will be pizza. I repeat, there will be pizza. So come on, and we're going to have a lot of great opportunities to talk about some of these big picture issues facing Snoqualmie, housing, and we're actually going to have our consultants LDC are going to be here, which is great. parks, transportation will have a nice representation from city staff. And I think it'll be a really illuminating evening. So hopefully as many of you can make it as you can, and please, share with your friends and neighbors. And then one other thing is, this just popped into my inbox today, and I just wanted to make sure everybody saw it. This is from PSRC. There's a key topics for elected officials and planning commissioners related to the comprehensive plan seminar that or webinar, excuse me, that they're putting on next month. So might be of interest to the commission. And as you can see, they've got the PSRC president, Councilmember Balducci, and several other local elected officials. So recommend that if you can make it. And that's all for me.
Good, good. Yeah, I would just like to second the April 6th open house. I think it'd be good if we get a good turnout, and I approve of the idea of pizza. I mean, always meetings, give food, people show up. So, okay, if you can make it, that'll be great. Anything else? Sorry, Commissioner, Vice Chair Testman?
One question for Senior Planner Goodman. I will personally be in Nashville for work on Thursday. Is there any sort of virtual participation planned for the Thursday meeting, or is it completely in person?
Thank you. That's a great question. For this April the 6th, I think there was talk of maybe streaming it live on YouTube, I think. I'll follow up with you on that. Failing that, we're also going to be launching an online presence where people can go and send us their comments online. And then I think we're also in discussions about doing a virtual open house. So essentially, kind of like a Zoom meeting, but folks can come in and out as they please and have a discussion. So that might happen in another month or so, but there will be another opportunity. There will be no shortage of opportunities, I'll say, to be involved.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Very good. Anything else?
Not for me.
Okay, seeing nothing else, move we adjourn the meeting at, wow, record, 7:54. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Hey,
Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.